Hello and welcome to this webinar, which is arranged by the collaboration of Fellow Med Prep Academy and the M.D.Zafar lectures. I am Dr. M.D.Zafar, and I will be taking you through how to use the resources, which include all the books, one-liner, MCQs, and all the resources which are available for FCPS Part 1. So let's get started. So first of all, the most important and the lengthy subject, that is the anatomy. So what books are available for anatomy? We have the Snell's Clinical Anatomy, Rafula, Netter's Atlas, and various other books. So I will recommend starting anatomy with the Snell's Anatomy and try to use the diagrams or pictures from the Netter's Atlas to consolidate your concept, because regarding anatomy, the MCQs you will be facing in the exam will be related to the spatial memory, that which structure is lying medial or which structure is lying lateral, and there is some cramming as well regarding the branches of the vessels or their names. Now, the most important thing is to understand the clinical correlates, which are very well described in the Snell's anatomy. And there are a lot of mnemonics. You can make your own mnemonics, or you can check them from Google or any other resource. Always focus in the Snell on the diagrams to have a better understanding. For MCQ, you can do Rafula. Now, in the coming slides, I will explain that how you have to incorporate all these three books, because you cannot read them again and again, and you might get confused that which book to start and how to start. But don't worry, I will take you through this and I will provide you with a system. If you follow that system, it will be very easy for you to go through this anatomy section in an effective way. So what do you need before starting the anatomy or whatever subject? So that is the getting a physical copy of the book that you need. And these are the additional things which I did. They are optional. I divided them into units and I added white pages. Now you will be needing these sticky notes and wide variety of colored pen. Again, this is optional. So what I used to do that, for example, this is a table from the upper limb. What I used to do that I did it from the Snell, and once I am done with the this section, I did the one-liners or the MCQ book. Now, when I have done the one-liners, I try to arrange the MCQs related to the knowledge part that is present in the Snell. For example, the MCQs which were related to the muscles, I wrote them down all in the muscle section, and I also added stars which were the already given MCQs, so that when in my second or third revision I only have one area where I will get all the information that I need to know or memorize regarding the muscles. So similarly, when I was using the netter, I used to do the same thing. So all the muscles which are all the questions which are related or I thought were important, I wrote them down with a specific color so that I know that these are the repeated MCQs or MCQs related to this area, which I not only need to do from the diagram, but also need to do these MCQs as well. So next up we have to add the flow chart. What I used to do that I used to read the information that was written over here, and then I used to make these flow charts. These were very effective for me because you cannot read through the text again and again and again. So try to be smart and try to add these diagrams. This is for the subclavian artery and vessels. And similarly, I had one for the lower limb. Now I used to add these, and this was very helpful for me to revise. So what you can do is when you are doing the MCQs from these one-liner books and you think that, okay, they have asked that inguinal ligament is very important landmark for the conversion of external iliac to femoral. So what you can do, you can add a star over here that, okay, not only this diagram is important, but this specific point is very important as well. So in this way, you can effectively convert number of books and so much of knowledge from the MCQ books, from the one-liner into these small flowcharts or in small area. So because at the end, you will only be requiring Snell and Netter's Atlas for your complete anatomies revision. And for those who are doing for going for the FCPS surgery and allied, and they later on plan to do MRCS, it will be helpful to them as well, because these are the notes. This is the anatomy, and all the knowledge is going to be same. Similarly, I will explain this in the physiology as well. In the physiology, it will be important for the doctors who are going to opt for the MRCP. Similarly, it goes for the gynae and ob in all those fields, because make your own notes, because this FCPS part 1 preparation is going to be the key or the basis of all the examinations which you're going to have later on in your life. Even in your IMM exam, there is going to be a lot of information related to the basics. So try to go through FCPS part 1 very effectively. So this is a sequence which I have written down to help you and further guide you. First of all, what I did the upper limb anatomy, because it is easy. It is easy to grasp the concept, and always whenever you start any subject, try to start it with anything that is very easy. Because if you start with the head and neck, you will take around 2 to 3 weeks, and at the end, you will neither know the facts or the knowledge, and you will be stuck, and you might even lose your confidence as well. So what I did, that I did upper limb, then lower limb, then I did the thorax, abdomen and pelvis, and at the end I added head and neck. You can use this scheme, you can make your own as well. Now in the upper limb, what I did, or I would recommend, go through all the knowledge that is present in Snell, and reference book is Netter for the diagrams. So once you have done these two effectively, then go through the Rafula chapter in which it has described the upper limb. Then what you will do, that you will add all the one-liners into these two books. So at the end, when next time you're going to revise the upper limb, you will only be needing Snell and Netter, and that's all. It will save you a lot of time. Now there is an other technique. Once you are done with the upper limb and you have done the lower limb as well, and you have started with the thorax, what I would advise you, that in the week or the days you're doing thorax, simultaneously try to revise the charts or the diagrams which you have added for the upper limb as well as for the lower limb. This is known as the spaced repetition. This is a very good and effective technique. And there is another subheading of this spaced repetition that I also use, that is the active recall. You can research about them in more detail, but I will give you a brief concept. So what active recall is, you open the book and, for example, you have the arteries of the upper limb. Now in the arteries of the upper limb, what you're going to do is you're going to revise all the facts that you know. It does not mean that you know A to Z for every part. But for example, you are good with the subclavian artery, axillary artery, and you forgot the branches from the third part of axillary artery. Those are the things which you will be revising this time, because rest of the knowledge is already with you. This will increase your confidence, and in the end, you will have very small area which you have to cover all the knowledge, because there is a lot of information in Rafula, SK series, or any other book that you use. I do not recommend any specific. You can use whatever book, but they all are written very well and they have a lot of information. So try to be smart and use these resources very effectively. So next up we have physiology. Physiology is going to be a very important part of your exam. And BRS is written very effectively in chapter wise. It has arranged all the necessary chapters in very precise sequence. So try to focus on the diagrams and the flow charts, which I will show you as well. And then again, use the same technique. Do one unit and add the Rafula points on this, so that in the end, when you have to revise, you only have to go to that area or that chapter and you have all the information that is written over there. So there are graphs and feedback loops which are very well explained in BRS physiology. So again, very first thing is to get a physical copy. Now, what you are going to do is you're going to focus on these flow charts which are very beautifully explained in the form of text. So what I used to do is I used to add all the extra things in the side and highlight the areas which are frequently tested in the MCQs. And here I have added a sticky note. So I even summarized all of this into my own made scheme so that I can further reduce the amount of area and knowledge which I have to go through again and again and again. So this technique will save you a lot of time because doing or going through the syllabus one time is not that difficult, but revision is the key thing. Because if you have read one chapter very effectively, you know A to Z, but after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when you have done 4 more chapters, then the first chapter you did will become weak. So you have to revise it. In the revision, these flowcharts are going to be of key help. So another important thing is that at the end of each chapter in both Snell's anatomy as well as in BRS, there are certain MCQs which are very good exercise to test the knowledge which you have read. So what I used to do that I used to read those MCQs because you don't know that which MCQ can be asked. They are freely available. Their MCQs, answers and explanations are also there. So I used to even confine those answers into one-liners and I used to add the important MCQs which I think can be tested in the form of MCQs. So these are from the GIT. These are the points which I thought can that I need to know or they can be tested. Like they were highlighted in there, so I wrote them separately so that whenever I am revising the GIT physiology, I will have to revise the flowcharts and the points, and I will be done and dusted with the whole chapter in a like minutes or an hour. So try to use smart scheme. This is going to be very helpful for you. So again, a rough idea for you guys to have a plan to go through with the BRS physiology. I started with GIT. Again, GIT is one of the easiest, but the most high, one of the high yield topics. Then you can go with the endocrinology, respiratory, renal. At the end, try to go with the CVS because CVS is having a lot of information that is frequently tested and you need to do it very well. Then at the end, you can go with the neurophysiology. So what you are going to do, you're going to go with the GIT and from the BRS physiology, you can review it from first aid, that is optional. Then you will do that chapter from Rafula, and then you will add those one-liners into either BRS physiology or first aid, whatever you think you will be using for your next revision. So in this way, you will be reducing the number of books and the number of syllabus, the number of things for your final revision. Again, use space repetition and active recall. And these are very important techniques because studying is, you have to make it easy for you. And if you use space repetition, the syllabus will become very easy for you and it will be covered in a very short period of time. Now, how to use first aid and what you have to cover from first aid. So first of all, get it divided into sections or at least add white pages because however, there is a lot of space in many pages, but few pages are quite bulky. They have a lot of tables and stuff. You cannot add a lot of information over there. So what I used to do, again, I used to convert this information into flowcharts so that I can only review them later on. And then I used to write all the information that is related to this area in the form of one-liner MCQs. And even I used to draw diagrams of those MCQs. So you have to use some effective ways. This is one of the few ways which I use. You can even add your own and make your study more effective. So you have to do biochemistry, micro, immunology, all the systems specifically with reference to pathology, embryology, and pharmacology from first aid. So you will be doing them from the first aid. For biochemistry, focused area are for the vitamins, enzymes, genetics. There are a lot of MCQs which are asked. I have explained this in the previous webinar as well. So for example, this is the table of the vitamins. So what you're going to do, you're going to do the one-liners, and you're going to go through the SK Pearls or any other past papers, and you're going to write the extra points which are given in these one-liners, and you're going to highlight the areas which are already present so that you know that these are the MCQs which are frequently asked in the exam and I have to go through them. What else you can do is you can make flashcards, or you can like add whatever technique you think you have been using in the previous exam. So use those techniques and be smart in your study. So for pathology, you can go through BRS pathology. It is very simple and precise. Again, it has MCQs at the end. You can apply the previously explained techniques to this as well. So the focus area should be on the cellular injury, inflammation, neoplasia, hematology, and immunology. Although you will be covering hematology and immunology from first aid, but you can review it from BRS pathology or pathoma. Like there are different options. You can either use pathoma, or you can go with the first aid, or you can go with the BRS pathology. If you have read it well from pathoma, then do it from there. If you are new and you feel like you need to do it from BRS pathology, you can do it from there. Again, do the one-liners and add them on the book which you will be using for your final revision. So focus on the tables of comparison and make your own table of differences with your own highlighted areas, so that at the end you have very small things or tables to review to get through all the syllabus of the general pathology. Regarding pharmacology, it is also needs to be done from the first aid, but the main area of focus is the drug classes, their mechanism and side effect. Though at the end of each system, there is some area that is dedicated specifically for the pharmacology. You will get your pharma covered from the first aid very well. Again, read the MCQ books and add the points on that area in the form of extra paper or in the form of sticky notes, whatever seems easy for you. And very importantly, please make mnemonics for yourself, because they are going to be very helpful in the exam. So next up we have microbiology. Microbiology also needs to be done from first aid. So there's a lot of things which needs to be done from the first aid. So you will have a very uh, bulky knowledge, number of subjects which will be covered from first aid. So you don't need to do big books or read the big books for these biochemistry, pharmacology. It is very well written in the form of tables, flowchart in the first aid. So in this, focus on immunology, bacterial classification, virology, and also do the related pharmacology as well. So in this area, you will get two areas covered in same chapter. Again, try to add flowcharts for common diseases, and specifically try to memorize the causative agents and the drugs which are used against them. So doing pharmacology with micro, you're not going to get simple MCQs. You can get MCQs like in a collaboration with other subjects. So they will be giving you a scenario related to the infection, but they will be asking you a drug. They can ask you management as well. So this is the type of MCQs you're going to get in the exam. So you have to study it thoroughly and try to grasp the concept. And in specifically for micro, try to memorize the pet statements or specific features for the bacteria or viruses. They are frequently tested because they are simply giveaways for the answer. They will save you time in your exam day if you encounter any question like that. So here is a smart daily study strategy which I have made. You can use this, or you can use this to add your own area of choice, or you can modify it depending upon the time you have. So try to give at least 1 to 2 hours for concept building. Like in 1 to 2 hours, you will be doing the main subject. You will be doing the upper limb and you will be doing it all in detail. Now, then next day or the same day, you can use 1 to 2 hours for doing MCQ practice. And in the coming days, when you are doing with the lower limb, or you are in the doing physiology like GIT or respiratory, try to give 1 hour for revision of previously studied things. Because if you study it in a sequence, like you did upper limb, then you did lower limb, then you did this, and this, and you have not revised it, then once you are done with your 10th unit, you might have forgotten first 3 chapters, and you will be needed to do them from zero again. And that is going to be one of the biggest challenge. There will be two type of problems with you. One, you will be left with a lot of knowledge to cover, and you will also be worried about that, oh my God, I cannot even recall these chapters as well, so I have to do them again. So try to use spaced repetition, active recall, and various other techniques. You can do your research so that you make this journey very effective and very easy for you. Then you can also give 1 hour for past papers, or you can give it to mock test, and try to divide it into different sections. Do some part in the morning and some part in the evening, and take some breaks in between, whatever technique is good for you. So this is the pair of books. You can review some of the topics from the core books if you think that there are a lot of MCQs and they are very difficult, you cannot are satisfied. You can go to the core book, but only for those frequently tested points or chapters. For pathology, you can go with the Robbins, but try to focus on the tables given in the pathology section. For pharmacology, you can go with the diagram from Lippincott, but try to follow the drug charts in the pharmacology section at the end of each system. Similarly, for physiology, you can go with the BRS, but also try to incorporate graphs and tables from first aid as well. For micro, try to use charts and tables from first aid, but if you think that you need to review 1 or 2 topics which are like sterilization, which you think you cannot find enough information from all these books, you can definitely go to your core book and review that. For biochemistry, you can go for Harper, but try to be more focused on the one-liners and the first aid. Similarly, for anatomy, you will be using Snell as a core book. That is the book that you need to follow thoroughly. You can skip using these core books for other subjects, but for anatomy, the Snell is going to be the core book. Similarly, first aid can help you with the embryology, histology, and neurology and neuroanatomy. But you can also do for neuroanatomy, you can do it from Kaplan, and there are certain subjects for different specialties which are need to be done from specific book. I will go into the detail of that in a while, but this is for general subjects. Like this scheme can be used for all the subjects, for all the specialties. So I hope you have understood that which books you need to use and how to use them effectively to help you pass the exam easily. Now I will tell you that which books need to be studied for specialty-wise subjects for medicine, surgery, anesthesia, and all of these. So for medicine and allied, for anatomy, try to go through Snell's anatomy, or you can use first aid or fast aid if you think that you do not encounter a lot of questions from the anatomy, then you can definitely do it from the fast aid as well. But you will be required to do BRS physiology very well, because you are going to be tested for different mechanisms, different relationships. For general pathology, you can use from BRS pathology or first aid. So it is your choice. You think that you know a certain topic and you only need to review it, you can do it from first aid. Now, special pathology, micro, immunology, neurology, biochemistry, pharmacology, and biology, these all can be very effectively covered from the first aid. So you do it from first aid. you do it from the first aid, and then you do it from the one-liners, and then you add those one-liners in your first aid. So this will help you reduce the knowledge and your revision will be very effective. For medicine and allied, you have to focus for the special pathology and physiology in your paper too. So you have to read these topics very well for specifically with concentration to paper 2. Similarly, you can also go through the AA notes. I have not done them, but if you think that they are good and you have seen them, they are also available in the market. Similarly, for surgery and allied, the main focus will be on the Snell review and using the netter. Although rest of the books are almost same. For physiology, you have to go with the BRS physiology. For pathology, BRS pathology, and rest of the topics will be covered from the first aid. For the specific specialty doctors, you can take screenshot. Later on, I will upload this on my YouTube channel, and then you can make your schemes accordingly. So similarly, for gynae and obs, this is the sequence of books that you will be using. For anatomy, use Snell's review, and you can also go with the first aid if you think that you have good grasp over the anatomy. For physiology, you can go with the BRS, and similarly, almost it has the same scheme. Now, regarding embryology, for gynae and obs, high yield embryology is going to be more beneficial as compared to first aid. Uh, and try to add all the MCQs which you read from the refula or one-liners and try to add it on high yield specifically for the gynae and obs. Similarly, these biostats and public health can be either covered from one-liners or they can also be covered from the first aid. So in paper 2, we're going to be tested more on the anatomy and the systems like endocrinology, respiratory, embryology, and histology. For pathology, the difference is going to be in the histology section, which needs to be done from the high yield histology, while the rest of the scheme is going to be almost same. So try to use first aid uh, as much as you can and try to use it effectively because a lot of things are covering from the first aid itself. You only need 2 to 3 books and you can add your one-liners into these books, and at the end you will have a very concise package arranged by your hands for yourself, which will help you in the exam. So in pathology, specifically paper 2 will be testing the special and general pathology, and they will be more focused on the histology related to certain diseases and its micro and immunology are going to be tested as well. So for the radiology, the difference is going to be that you will be tested more for the anatomy. So for radiology, it is almost similar to the surgery and allied because you have to go with Snell review and Netter and try to make it palatable for you, while the rest of the books are almost same. Again, first aid is going to cover a lot of knowledge for you as well. And try to focus more on the pathology section as well. So for anesthesia, the sequence is almost same, but there are 2 differences. Special pathology is not much needed. You can review it very lightly from the first aid or even from the one-liner book. But for pharmacology, you have to go through Kaplan in detail. That is the difference. Because rest of the things can be covered from the remaining books, but you need and there is some additional book that is SK Anesthesia and Asim and Shoaib notes. You can review them as well. And regarding pharmacology, the gas laws and physiology are going to be very well tested. So you have to do BRS physiology very well. So regarding ENT, rest of the scheme is almost same, but they are Nigar notes which are additionally used by the ENT doctors. And For the pathology section related specifically to the ENT, you can also review it from the BRS pathology and Goljan and try to use the flow charts and diagrams, because you do not need to know all the pathology. You just need to know the basic concept. Again, a lot of things are going to be covered from the first aid as well. So similarly, for eye, the scheme is the same, but you have to have a special emphasis on the anatomy of the eye and pathology related to the special senses and visual tracts. So in BRS physiology, you have to do the neurophysiology chapter very well, because it has a lot of relationship to the eye, special senses, and all the tracts. And the visual pathway is very frequently tested, so you have to do it very well. And you have to use high yield histology, because different pathologies can be tested with reference to histology as well. So thank you very much. This was all about today's session. So if you have any questions, you can ask in the chat box, or you can write them in the group chat as well.